Gentlemen and ladies, how are you doing? It's the Crypto Sniper, yes, coming at you with a quick crypto update, and it's all largely bears. As we've been warning, you got to stay bear, you got to stay bear, stay bear. Oh, he's so boring, he keeps saying the same thing. Won't you just change it for a day? No. If it's going down, it's going down. We're going to keep saying it's going down. So, Solana. Yep. So here she goes, here she blows. We've told you about a 3 target that we are expecting to see run, and there it goes, spilling single digits now. You should see some of those comments. I did a cutout and I shared it in a previous video. Solana is never going to 3. You are out of your mind. Little squiggly lines on the chart mean nothing. What do you think you can do? I can tell you we're moving more volume on. Q, NFT, yada yada, fish paste, fundamental reason. I can tell you this, and there were rows and rows of them, my good friends, rows and rows of them, and I did a YouTube where I highlighted them. That was in and around 48 over here on this rising wedge where we reiterated that. That's after calling 260 on the upside. So here's what I get on Twitter. Oh, you were shilling Solana once. No. We traded as traders to the long side Solana here, and again up top there, and then it made 260. That was our target high. No further upside, and then it started to go down. We didn't like it. We started to say this thing is no longer a bull market. You should be bearish. You should be in stable coins, we said, in the crypto market. And we did the head and shoulder draw at the peak of the shoulder on a rising wedge. Let's draw him and remind him, and that's when we shouted out. But we were already bearish and out of Solana as a trading token. So you will get people that will continue to deride us. They hate it if you're accurate on anything. They'll deride you when you're wrong. They'll deride you when you're right. They'll hate it. You were shilling. No, we traded long, and we did a YouTube about trading it long. We've never made a fundamental case for a project in our life. We haven't shilled. We traded HEX long, and we've been calling it short. We'll get on to that next. We've traded Bitcoin long, and we've traded it short. That is the trader's thing. You don't get married. You don't get married to anything. None of them are beautiful. None of them are going to love you forever. Some of them will make you money some of the times on the upside. Some of them will make you on the downside. Sometimes the same coin will make you both up and down, and so it goes. And that's the nature. So we get a lot of peculiar comments, actually. I've got someone who's really angry with me right here, in fact. That's a fascinating one. I haven't quite worked it out. He says, I get annoyed. Again, sorry to be salty, everyone. I don't want to be that guy, but the tweet just annoyed me a little bit because I remember the day so distinctly after losing on Bybit. So I don't see why that means we're wrong. He was quite angry. And Bybit, apparently, it traded 7.535 on the 11th of the 10th. I don't see how that's got anything to do with us. The exchanges we used are making new lows now. What happened on Bybit is not material to me. Here is Bitfinex, 11.01 was that low, and before it was over there at 26, and before it was over there. This is a new low since the 260 high. It's a new low on Bitfinex. It's a new low on Binance's perp. It's just taken out that stretchy low. Let's make sure none of those lines are lines I drew. There you go. So it's just taken out that low as well on the perp, which is invariably more volatile. Binance, Sol, perp. So you have a cash market and you have a perp market. I don't understand what people get irritated by sometimes, but I don't over worry about it. That's what we do. We got some irritated HEX people. But before we go to HEX, let's just remind you, ADA, we said, would run. The 26 level, there she goes. That's run. That's a target run it made. So that one is done as well. It can overperform too as the rest skid out to the downside. Let's talk about HEX. So HEX. We called the top on HEX. Let's just park that one up and bring up some social proof, because people just say no you didn't, or they say you did but you're wrong, or various other things. So hold on right now. Here's one that just in a rush I can find with the original head and shoulders over here that we said this would be a top. That was the 0.5 high line. You did 51 cents just above it over there. And then we drew the neckline 0.375 This shot was taken after the target had been run and you'd had a small rally, but it was still trading in and around, is that 18 cents? You could have got out then. There's plenty more examples, some of them before that, but this is where you're at with HEX. That little spiller, that thriller, and you could have saved yourself a lot of pain. Even that little head and shoulders targets being made, rally back up. You could have got out at 35, even on a return move. You could have got out on a broadening structure. We warned that this was bearish up top here. We got charts and images for that too. All the way down, we've been warning. That was still above 20 cents. By the way, you're 1.8 cents today. That's 1/10. That's 1/10 of getting out up top here. So even if you hadn't got out on the neckline, you hadn't seen concern with those broadening structures that we also gave, and the original head and shoulder with the 37.5, which would have got you out a whole bunch higher. This is it. But you've been trained. You've been trained. And you've been brainwashed. And I called someone a cultist. He's a nice guy and he was polite on crypto. I don't mean to be mean to him. But the point is, when you've been trained so well to be a bag holder that the only way is hodl and the only way you think is up, you're going to do many a round trip. You're going to do many a round trip all the way up and all the way back down. You see, when the amount of new capital coming in is less than the big sellers selling, and they've got a guy, there's more buyers than there's sellers, it's just that the sellers are whales. That doesn't matter. There could be just one seller. The whole point is the rest of you that have been programmed to buy have run out of money and don't have enough and have got $10 to throw at it, and that one seller is selling a couple of $1 million a day. That's what's happening. Down, down, down she goes. Big, big bear. The SEC is involved with anyone who's marketed it on a YouTube channel, guys. This is not a good development. This is not a good development. I warned that that was a risk before any of this happened. It doesn't matter how clever you get with the law. The point is, if they've decided you wrong, they will put you under pressure and plea bargain you into admitting guilt of some form. And that you just cleverly restructured wording, but the intent is it was always serving as a security, da 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 da. There's right and there's might. And guess who wins in the arm wrestle? I'm afraid the people that write the laws are the Satanists. They are the worst of a bad bunch. You think you can be too smart with the law, and guess what? You get busted anyway. You get broken anyway, and you get put in the same bag. This is a terrible chart, my friends. I did a descending triangle draw for you here across the top and said, whoops, you gave that up. When I suggested that there was a little bit of buyback up, and I said, could it possibly? I didn't say it was. Be some plunge protection. I got guys writing all serious tweets to me about that's not plunge protection, this isn't whatever. It doesn't matter. It was allowed. There was an absence of bid that it was allowed to fall that far, and then there was a sudden reaction. And it happened once. When it happened the second time, there was a much weaker reaction. And you could barely regain the 30 and the 33 line that was your base of your descending triangle. It's telling you that the sellers are overwhelming the buyers, whilst telling you to stake for 5,555 days. Someone is running and holding, expecting you to hold the bag with the stinky turd in it, where your money is turning into nothing in front of your eyes. 1.8 when this was 18. You've just done the inverse of a 10x. 18 itself was half a 37.5, another 18, which in of itself was already a third down from 51%. You are being cold and you're being numbed and you're being forced to hold on in an environment that this thing is going down, down, down. Belief systems, my friend. And this is going to trigger a lot of people, and they're going to puke in the comments, and they're going to go, but, this time is different, but this man is for real, but. The point of the matter is the money is not there buying the token to the same scale that people are exiting. That is why it goes down. And the technical patterns, as we called them, said they would go down. We came onto this channel and told you in advance it's going to go down more. And everyone's saying, no, but bottom now, but bottom now. We've had the but bottom now here, there, and so on. And it continues down, and we've continued to tell you it's going down. We said when it was way up, at 37.5, you're likely to see sub 1 cent. Sub 1 cent and potentially zero, game over. But sub 1 cent is our call. And there's continues to move to the downside. There we go. There's the countless draws that we've given you. This has all been in here for an unbelievable amount of time, and so it continues to go. And this funnel will need to be broken with momentum, and it starts at 1.1 cent, and the lower part of it, my friends, is 7 tenths, 7.8 of a cent, not even a full cent, 3/4 of a cent. At least you're getting 1.8 there. Do you want 3/4 of a cent? Do you know what that is going to be? Do you know that could go further? Oh dear. Anyway, the dominance as well on it is so bearish. Another descending triangle, down, 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 down. Trader bad, bag holder good. So you have been taught to believe. Trader bad, bag holder good, which is great when you have a bit of data where the chart is only doing that. It makes sense and everybody becomes a believer. And then they hold on to those beliefs in a perpetual bear market where we now have Tesla, ARK, and all the other high beta techs falling out of bed, and crypto is seen as an even higher beta version of that. Go check the video where I take Bitcoin, a higher standing token, you will understand, that has not lost the same percentage at the same rate and the same reduction in dominance. This is a dominance that is 0.49, friends. At one point it was 4.4. 4.4 to 4.9. 0.49. You are almost a tenth. You are virtually 11%, 11.1% left from up top here in a relatively strength situation base measurement. So this is measuring you against the rest of crypto, the all market cap of everything. Obviously that's going to have a dominance of ETH and Bitcoin, which are bigger and relatively more stable than HEX, but you have given up an unbelievable amount of ground. You are less than 0.5% when you used to be almost 4.5%. Unbelievable, my friends. That is an absolute spiller. It is a nightmare. Go have a look at HEX WETH, which is wrapped Ethereum, and it is as big as spill. It is as big as spill. You have let go of the 0.30s, or is it 40s, 23, and you are now half that, almost half that. And this time there's no pump back up. There's no buyers rating to chase it all the way back up. That definitely wasn't the OA. Don't you dare say that. I've checked the addresses. Okay. But it ain't there this time, and it's getting weaker, and the chart says bad. The chart says bad, and we said sell a long time ago. We continue to say sell. You're going to only lose more and more, and the people continue to hold and hate. But that's what happens. So HEX isn't going to love us any more than the Solana crowd are going to love us. What else have we got on the crypto space to talk about? Well, Elrond has fallen. It's not the only one. It continues to fall. That one is bleeding out lower. There's many that we have discussed that are fallen on dark times. Remember Tezos? So we covered Tezos, Elrond. We covered in previous videos that started long time ago in this bear market, talking the beginning of this year, February, March, breaking in and around April. So anytime back there, you will find Tezos videos, Elrond videos that have been mentioned. You will find IOTA videos that have been mentioned, that have just recently made target as well on a structure. Sol that I've mentioned, all to the bad side. We even included Crow videos to the downside that are lower than this particular exchange even has history. That being FTX. I should delete that one. That one doesn't exist anymore. Let's get a new Crow number and see where she stands. We warned when the whole of crypto went FTX. And by the way, that call on FTX was well before my apologies, that call on Solana was well before the FTX crash example. Crow now at 5 cents. Crow at 5 cents. We highlighted this structure. We warned you. This is not good. Grind line disproportionately small little second impulse, barely hanging on. This spill would not work out well. We called it again on an inverted structure there, and we warned you that the letting go of this level was not going to be good, and you have gone from a high in and around $1. You almost made $1. You should have been out at 40 cents at the latest, to 5 cents, sub 6 cents at the moment, and skidding lower. Everything of these higher beta alts has been a sell, and you have to just keep on keeping on, because that's what continuation is. There's your descending triangle there, very similar to what we've just shown you on HEX. It's going to upset a lot of people. People are losing money, they're hurt, they're angry. It's as if you did it because you called it. You know, I love that. You did it. Well, you lost money on FTX. I get a lot of people that saying, you were stupid enough to lose. You trusted Sam Bankman-Fried. I was trading on a platform. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust CZ and anybody. And we got Mt. Gox like many other people. Many people were hurt. That doesn't... If you want to trade, you need a trading exchange. Unfortunately, those decentralized platforms just aren't good enough. So people say, oh, you just saw because you lost money. No, I've written it all off quite a while ago now, including even, you know, other things such as my expectations on Pulse and Pulse X as well for those HEX people. No, let's be clear. This is a bear market. This is a technical analysis, and it's been going down and continues to suggest it will go down further. The fact of the matter is you've just had enough and you think you owed a change. You aren't owed a change until that fat lady sings, and she ain't even there yet. She's eating a steak, egg and chips and burping and farting. She ain't ready to do anything yet. She's not getting up on that stage. This is going to get flatter and flatter. That's why you should have a log scale on it so that you don't lose perspective. These things are doing round trippers. Crypto is the round tripper market. HEX will be a round tripper market. Solana is going to be a round tripper market. All of these guys are round trippers. How many of .com survived? All the control structures company, Amazon, Cisco and the likes, and eBay and Google and Schmoogle. None of the small business plan ones with Joe Schmo company, boo.com, pet.com, none of the horse shit survived. There were only a handful. The amount of listings, the amount of garbage versus what actually survived, most of them were the big control structure. And the same will be in crypto. Ethereum, I believe, will survive because they have plans for it. They have plans. Your property will be on there. You'll have to declare its value. You'll pay tax on it, ever higher rip-off tax rates. If you understate it, they'll print up some central bank digital tokens and force you out into a sale on the basis that they consider it undervalued. They want to own everything. They want you in a surveillance finance. You think that, you know, you'll own nothing and be happy, that brain programming is just a joke. This is an intent. It's a statement of intent. Only the control structure tokens will survive. If your coin survives, it's a control structure managed token. It has signed and kissed the ring of surveillance finance, where the clients are marks that get handed over, data gets handed over, tax extraction must be made, etc., etc., etc. Understand. Get out of this fantasy that you have new money. They will never let you have your own money. They will never let you have your own goddamn money. Can I deprogram all the bullshit bag holding crap that you've had forced into your fucking head and tell you that you will never get your own money? If you want coin go up, the institution banker money will need to go in. That means they own the game and you're riding on their coattails. You will get your tax bill. They will surveil you. They will do everything they will do. If you want an independent guy that you think is going to be allowed to make it, that just happens to be a good guy and he's doing a token and you're not part of the control structure, you expect that to win, he's going to get letters from the SEC. Because when it comes to law enforcement, they enforce on others, not themselves. The laws are selective. The enforcement is selective. Everything. Please understand. You're participating in a pump and dump scheme. That's it. Ride the pump, short the dump. Try get away with some of your money. Expect that there's going to be a lot of counterparty risk and you're running through a minefield. Hope not to tread too many times on mines. Have a little bit in different pots so that they don't all go up in the one. SBF type scam, and carry on. I'm still short the market, not as big as I would have been if I hadn't stood in a mine with FTX, but I'm happy and we're making money and it's okay. And the people who are in pain, and they're hating on people that are pointing out the facts that they don't want to hear. So I'm here to be hated, and I'm here to tell you, it's a captured goddamn game. When are you going to bloody understand that? Okay, the charts and the money flow are one of the same thing. There's no one coming to save crypto.com right now. It could change, and we'll see it in the chart. Until then, it's going down. That's how it is. It's called continuation. It's called momentum. You know, an object continues to move until an equal and opposite force or a greater force acts upon it in the opposite direction. That is a fact. We need equal and opposite money to come in of either an equal or greater level to turn some of these things around. There is nothing coming in. The Teslas of this world are selling off. They're sure as hell on running to put it into HEX or crypto.com. I'm here to tell you, stop bloody fantasizing. This is a shorters market only right now, and it could get even worse. Numbers you will never expect it to see. The ridiculous comments I got on my YouTube when I said it's going to $3, that now would not be near as confident. The ridiculous comments I got that HEX will never go below a 1 cent, and it's now at 1.8 cents, my friends. 1.8 cents. Yep, that's what you're hearing and seeing. Things that you never thought. And that's HVF method. You can learn how to use it. You can learn how to put on technical trades. You can go, you know what, I'm going to trust a process instead of a belief system around one person, individual, or token. How about that? How about marrying your girlfriend, making you a wife, and everything else you apply process? Because to become a trader is to believe in nothing. It's to look at the chart and have confidence in a process. Anyway, good old ranty man on a gorgeous Wednesday evening, just nestled, bookended between Christmas and New Year, giving you a hearty little cold bucket of water over your head and a kick up the jacksie. How's your auntie, my friend? Have a bright-eyed, wakey, hands-off snaky New Year. How about that? Okay, awesome. Let's get on with the technicals. Any other cryptos to puke over? Well, it's just generally. I mean, remember EOS. EOS, I've got to just take you back from memory. I got called out on a tube. You're wrong. EOS should counter trend. I remember that because EOS was going up. This is taking us back now. EOS was the new thing. Bitcoin was going down, but EOS was bucking the trend, and it had a whole bunch of money pumping it up. Where is it today? 0.87 cents. This is on a log scale. Where was it? $23 way back in the 2018 when Bitcoin was going down and EOS was the only token going up, and everyone was chase the shiny new thing. This one defies gravity. It will be our king. I was at the consensus of 2016, and I saw how they were pissing money up the wall and ladies with free cocktails handing them out to me. I did drink and enjoy on their tab with great gusto and said, never an investor be, such is how they spendeth their money. That's what I did say, and I slurped it all down, glug glug, and said bye for now. And so we got called out because it was going up. It was going up at the time, and we said wait and see, how the mighty have fallen. You can't sustain non-stop bid under your token unless you continue to have a wall of money. And what of BSV, the real true Bitcoin? BSV, remember that. This is Craig Wright. This is the real true Bitcoin right here, my friends. That's going to save you. Wow. $40 was $500. Okay, so that's divide 10, and let's take another 10% off that, or should we say 20% off that too. So BSV is falling, and it continues to fall. It is in a traditional Dow theory, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Tell me if you get the pattern in there. Guess what? That's called a down heading trend. Guess what? You keep staying short or you stay out of completely until such time as you cease to make lower lows. Plenty of technical structures along the way as well. So it doesn't matter who we run the rack on. These guys are in deep trouble. What of your God market, you might say? Well, relatively a tad stronger. relatively a tad stronger, Bitcoin she be. But let's have a look at this before we throw up all our lines. How about this? Non-stop downside continuation patterns. Does it really change anything in terms of this versus any of the other cryptos? But Bitcoin is different, they'll tell you. Bitcoin is different. It's the only one that is pristine collateral, says Michael Saylor. Pristine collateral. Well, your high beta pristine collateral has lost an unbelievable percentage in value, sitting at 16.5 versus virtually 70 grand. 70 grand to 16.5, my friends. Oh dear, oh dear. That is $55,000 of loss in percentage terms. It is vast. It is also in trouble, and it will also continue likely to head down, just at a slower rate. How's Bitcoin dominance doing? Well, ironically, when all the other high beta alts go down, the dominance actually gets a little bit of a bid. So Bitcoin dominance gets to congest and not go down anymore when it's no longer a bull market for all crypto. Because as fast as it's going down, the others are going down too. So actually, it's stopped losing value in dominance. We've got a key 40% level, and it's holding that for a while. Why? Because it's been at 16K for a lot longer than some of the others that have dumped. But don't forget, it was skidding into new lows. In fact, ADA had an inverted, had held value a little bit longer before it went into a skid and had to catch up. So we showed you those charts below each other. So generally, Bitcoin is really just a big ass crypto, as much as they want to tell you it's different. In terms of its price performance, it is just a slightly less high beta version of it. At 16,529, where are you from the high? 16,529 divided by 69,000, we'll call it just 69,000, call it a monkey. You have lost -1, 76%. So in an environment where the others have all largely lost 95%, you've lost 76%. Guess what? If you had been all in crypto, and there was Mr. I don't want to say his name, YouTuber, who always calls the moon on everything and desperately wants you to use all his links as his main primary thing of earning. By the way, we got someone say you were shilling FTX. No, people asked us which platform were we using. We told them FTX and said there's a link in our description. We didn't spend much time saying, you must go to FTX and click out this and get a bonus, and there were special coupons. I never got paid a cent from them, but we put the link in there because people asked. People asked, which one were you using? People asked, we use Bitfinex and FTX. That's what we've been saying for a long time. I didn't even bother with a link for Bitfinex. It's been around for ages. FTX was relatively new when we started. Okay, so here we go. What's it doing next? I'm guessing skidding a little lower, my friends. I'm guessing skidding a little lower until it shows me that it is finding a base. Until it shows it's finding a base. And at the moment, what's happening? What's happening in the rest of the world? Well, the dollar might start to come back a little bit. That's a problem. The dollar might start to come back for a little bit. And that is, let's go and visit over here. How is the dollar doing? There she comes. It's a little firmer today than it was yesterday. You've got two green candles on a 3-day chart. That's on the daily. We actually think this is a little squeezy Japanesey. We're trading the dollar long. This was discussed in our community. You could have had it a little bit before this particular moment, on the basis that we think you're going to get a little bit of a bump and some recovery in the dollar. That doesn't mean it's going to go back to the extremity of its strength that it was before. We think some recovery at a moderate rate. That's not going to help crypto either, my good friends. Neither will the likes of ARK. Yes, that high beta ETF that actually is leading Bitcoin. So it's led Bitcoin on every downturn. The ARK, Cathy Wood's ARK, deeply embedded in the metaverse and all high risk forms of tech. And she doubled down when the markets were turning ugly and went even deeper into risk. I don't know why she chose to do that, but she did. And what have we got out of that leading indicator for Bitcoin? Well, it's not looking so good. It's not looking so good. Let's have a look at the daily. That's ARK. It's starting to spill back down again. Yep. So you had a little bit of broadening here. Then you had a level that it was trying to hold generally at 35. It couldn't. You got a bit of a descending triangle after a while there on the 35, and then it spilt. It is now sub 30. That's right. See the rising wedge. Beautiful technical patterns. And of course, it's got a head and shoulder on a much bigger time frame, much like the Solana head and shoulder. Yeah, Solana. Did we mention Solana again? That just causes people pain and anger. Bad, Francis. Look at that, look at that, look at that. And what did we call on ARK? We'll be doing a separate market sniper video on this one. And we're calling for single digits on ARK. And it's just traded through the 30. Don't forget, this was trading at a high of $158 not so long ago. Now, heading, in our opinion, to single digits. That's right, single digits. And those numbers were called around here. From the 60s into the 50s on this rising wedge. The breakdown there was a reiterate, all of it, down, down, down. It's continuing to go. That's a lot of downside for a high beta ETF that actually is lower beta than Bitcoin. Now, I'm not saying it's always going to remain that way, but that's a lot of potential downside. And that ain't going to be good for crypto. And how's the joystick? The joystick, the self-driving joystick. I like to get hold of the old joystick every now and then, don't you? Yep. Good old Tesla. That's what's happening in your iPhone cars, my good friends, where you can be remotely disabled because of your hate speech on a crypto forum by calling various cryptos pumpermentals and dumpermentals. It can be deemed a microaggression and you could be locked out of your battery car for 48 hours in 2024. That's right. It will not start. And this man is here bringing them to you. First short call reiterates the rising wedge call. We can put that on a daily instead, and you can see it all playing out. And Spiller, thriller, and it's almost made targets with an earnings statement to come, and he didn't get to deliver all those cars he was supposed to. Bad boy. Why, he was playing with his twatter. That's what he was doing, with his joystick and the twatter. Anyway, who knows, who cares? That was the story. That is Tesla. This is your economic environment that you think is bottoming for crypto, and I'm here to throw that cold bucket of water and say, keep on keeping on. When it's south, stay south. Keep going south. Go all the way to Antarctica. Climb the ice wall. Tell me what lives on the other side. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't let the Russian, American military stop you. There is the land of milk and honey beyond there. Go on down. Keep marching, my friends. Until such time as the tide turns, and you will see it first in the charts, and that's what we're here for. That's why you hit the subscribe button. That's why you hit the always notify me, so I can get my cold bucket water of reality thrown over my head by Francis Hunt, the market sniper, the crypto snubber, the founder of HVF Method, the man that brought volatility expansions after volatility constrictions to you in the HVF Method and everything else that goes around it, from grind line theory, complex head and shoulders, and everything else, broadening structures, none of which you can get anywhere else in the internetiverse except by going to themarketsniper.com, hitting book a call, and asking for the fine fellas on the other side to take you through it. That's right. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening, and thanks for spending time with me, for your heartwarming Christmas, post-Christmas message, and your happy New Year festivities. Thank you for supporting the channel. We love you. The news will eventually turn. All things will pass, but not before the chart tells you so. Until next time, bye-bye.